Yo, and welcome to the latest episode of NXT Talk, the show where we chat about NXT in any form. Whether it be stateside, Level Up, or UK, we've got you covered. We're hosts, I'm Boris, and as always, I am joined by Matt.
Bonjour! How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well, Boris. We're nearing the Great American Bash. We got 6 matches. I believe 4 title matches on this show. Could be pretty good next week. How you feeling, big homie?
I'm doing all right, man. Just taking it day by day overall. Great American Bash. It's so crazy because I feel like it was announced so long ago. But it's next week. Like, here we go. And it could be a good show. It looks to be a good show. We'll go through the card at some point, most likely closer to the end. We're changing the format a little bit this week. I think we're going to go in chronological order of when things happened. And the reason for that is just because, well, it kind of makes sense this week, especially because there was a major change in titles with NXT UK. So I think it just makes sense that we're going to go this week in chronological order, and we'll see how that takes us.
Yeah, we're going to start with NXT UK. We might actually switch to this if it goes well. We'll see how it works. I kind of like the idea of doing it in chronological order. And usually NXT UK is the better show. So it's nice to talk about that while we're, fresh, full of piss and vinegar, Boris. But yeah, we're going to discuss NXT UK off the hop here. Yeah. If I may, if I could just take the floor for a couple of seconds, Boris. Yeah,
of course.
So I just wanted to say something, in the comedy world here in Toronto. We lost somebody who is just absolutely spectacular, and more so than a spectacular comedian, seemingly a spectacular person. I didn't really know him too well. I've seen him passing, and I really respected his work. His name was Nick Nemeroff, and he passed away recently, very, very recently. It's very, very sad. And like I said, I wasn't super close to him. I don't think I actually ever met him, to be honest, but I really, really respected him. I run in the same circles, right? So just seeing on Facebook and on Instagram and on all these social medias, all of my friends are just hurting so bad. And it's just like lots of heavy hearts in the comedy community, man. And this guy was on Conan. You can check out his work on Conan. You can check out his album on Spotify or YouTube, Nick Nemeroff. He's got a unique voice. Very, very funny guy. Lots of like misdirection in his comedy. He's like a soft-spoken dude. One of my friends described him as the most gentle person she'd met in the comedy scene, and I thought that was like beautiful. There's not a lot of gentle people necessarily in the comedy scene. I'm not a gentle person. I'm a loudmouth idiot. You know what I mean well. I'm not like aggressive, but you know what I mean? Like you get a lot. Yes, exactly. But it's just, and as a human being, man, like he was the kind of person who would say, I love you to his friends. It seemed anyway. Like I didn't know him, so I don't want to tell you about his personality necessarily. All I know about him is he was loved and he was a talented guy. So if you're into stand-up comedy, go check out some Nick Nemeroff and, like hug your loved ones, because you never know, man. And it's just like life is short. Life is a beautiful thing, and we need to appreciate every day while we have it. And rest in peace, Nick Nemeroff, a very, very talented guy, gone way too soon. Yeah,
I think we run in similar circles, and I have seen so much outpouring, and comedy. I think we were talking about this when kind of the SNME group got together. Comedy is a very, very, especially right now with the, with everybody trying to be so politically correct, and no one trying to piss anyone off. It's so hard to find a comedian who is generally loved by everyone, whatever circle of comedy you run in, right? Because you have different circles of comedy and comedians, right? So to see someone, and I've seen outpouring of just absolute love and admiration, and well-being for his family from every circle. So that just goes to show you the type of person that he was.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, in a business like comedy and like a thing that it's going to attract some assholes, right? So it is really nice when you hear of a genuine person having success, and he seemed like a really good Good guy, good heart, and he was an excellent comedian. I'll tell you for sure, he was a good comedian. I didn't know him as a person, but I can tell you, like, his work holds up, man. Go check him out on Conan. Go listen to his full album. It's good. He was good at this, and it's not just tragic for that reason. It's tragic for a number of reasons. But it's a talent who's gone now, and that really sucks.
All right, so it's been one of those weeks, I guess, man. I feel like this is a vintage NXT Talk episode. We're recording on Tuesday night for schedule reasons. So again, Matt, thank you so much for kind of putting up with my schedule. I know it's been just absolutely hectic.
That's all good.
The past few weeks, but this week is a good reason. As I point vigorously to my camera at you.
It's happening. I can see that.
Very good reason. That's because tomorrow, when we typically record, I'm going to be on the road. I'm doing stuff. I'm going places. Not up in the world, but going places, all right. I'm
not up in the world, going to Detroit.
I wouldn't, honestly, the only times I've gone to Detroit has been for events. I went for tons of sports, few concerts, and tomorrow I am going for All Elite Wrestling, AEW, Blood and Guts.
Nice. Like a young Boris checking out ECW. Gonna see some blood and guts. It's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited for you. We gotta get a live Boris report if we can.
I'm gonna try, but you know what? 100%. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. I am going to enjoy this as a fan.
Of course.
I'm going to enjoy it as a fan. Like, so most likely I'm going to be on the show with Mouth on Thursday. I'm going to have to rewatch the show and take notes then, just because I am going to sit down and honestly enjoy the show. Very similar to, like, when I went to the first AEW taping in Washington, I just sat down. I was by myself. I was a dork, went by myself. Just so happened to work out that way, and dude, it was just a great time. Made tons of friends. But tomorrow I'm going with people that I know, and really looking forward to it. And yeah, man, it's gonna be a good time. And I feel like just mentally, I'm there already. I need it so bad. I'm not gonna go into so many reasons why, but like it's just gonna be a nice little break tomorrow. I'm gonna obviously work when I can, but tomorrow is gonna be dedicated to my wrestling fandom, and I am looking forward to it because, like you said, it does remind me of when little Boris and his older brother Juan somehow got him past the border, even though we have different last names, and I was underage. But yeah, I honestly do feel like back in the day of when I used to go to ECW shows with my brother.
That's amazing, man. That's so cool. Yeah, go as a fan, enjoy it. And if you can't make it for the show, I can come off the bench and hop in with the great Dan the Mouth Lovransky if need be. But man, it would be dope to get some live perspective from Blood and Guts. Could be the most violent match in AEW history, perhaps, and that's covering a lot of ground, buddy.
Considering the bloodbath that John Moxley left himself in on Sunday, right? Like, it's just crazy.
Every time Moxley will wrestle like Daniel Garcia on Rampage, and they'll both be gushing.
Dude, can you imagine if Moxley ever fought Cody?
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
Like, the boys would be lining up because they would need blood transfusions after the match. Like,
literally, triple threat match: Moxley v Cody v Abdullah the Butcher.
I've told you, well, I've said it many times on many podcasts that I've seen Abdullah the Butcher wrestle once, and it was a shit show. Yeah, it was a shit show. It was in Mississauga against Terry Funk in 1999.
What? I was gonna say, what year? 99.
99.
Well, I mean, Funk was like 1 year removed from Chainsaw Charlie. Excuse me, that wasn't that bad, but oof.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I saw that match. And then later that year, or early the following year, Beyond the Mat came out, and I saw his retirement tour. So it's the order of stuff, which is so funny. That's classic Terry Funk there. But yeah, man, I'm honestly looking forward to it. So yeah, tonight honestly feels like a vintage NXT talk where we're doing everything in our power to not talk about NXT and NXT brand of stuff.
Yeah. It was a weird UK, obviously a very strange UK episode.
Oh, don't even get me started
big
with
twist.
UK.
Yeah. And then this episode, while it was better than like the really bad 2.0s that we first got in September and like October, like the kidnappings and whatever, this was kind of just a boring
There was a worse crime. There was a worse crime, implied worse crime than kidnapping on this episode.
That's fair. There was an implied murder on this show.
And I called it.
You did call it. You did call it. You know what, though? That one's funny. I'll take an implied murder of a man who got released. That's like Saturday Night Live, like a good like wink and a nod, versus like an actual visible kidnapping that we see on our screen that's just never mentioned again.
Yeah, there was a few implied stuff on tonight's episode, one of which I'm glad we didn't see on TV, one of which we should have seen on TV because it would have done the angle justice. We'll get to that. Matt, how are you, buddy?
Oh, man, thank you for asking. I'm very well. Just gearing up to end working here for a little bit. I'm taking 2 weeks off soon. I'm going to go up to Sudbury, see the family, hopefully get some cottage time in, go, around, do the tour. There's been a lot of friends that I haven't seen since the pandemic, right? Because I have gone back home, but only to see like my parents. So I'm actually going to go to the city of Sudbury this time, see some friends, hopefully. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Like I'm looking very much forward to it.
When you're up there, try not to blow up any police stations.
I promise nothing.
And this is now evidence.
Matty K9 blowing all kinds of things up. No, I promise to not. I hereby vow to not explode the Sudbury police station like Johnny K9 did.
That's awesome. It's funny. I was actually going to ask you if you were going to go up to Sudbury for your birthday because I know it's mid-July. So yeah, that's awesome. That's great to hear, man.
Yeah, it's generally what I like to do. I like to go home for the old birthday.
Yep. I hear ya. So that's awesome. It's man. I wish I had a summer birthday.
It's not so bad, man, because you can do whatever you want. Like, you know what I mean? I've gone to many Jays games. I've done all kinds of beach days, whatever the fuck. It's pretty sweet, man.
I can't do any of that, man. No Jays. No. There's hockey. The fuck cares about hockey? And everyone hates me now. No, I'm joking. Basketball. I've done a basketball game. That was fun, but it's hard to do a group now for a basketball game. Impossible to do a group for hockey. It's usually a uno on uno type of thing, right? Like, so it's kind of shitty. One year, when the Raptors were super shite, we're talking like 2000. I think it was for my 19th birthday. I remember this because I got smashed right after. I don't even know. I think it was like 20 Sprite Zone Raptor tickets, and just me and like 19 of my closest people.
That's insane. That sounds like a lot of fun though, man. How did you afford that though? Sprite Zone isn't the worst.
They were $10. They were $10.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. That's not so bad. Yeah,
it wasn't so bad. And everyone all I did was pay for the tickets basically. The rest of the night was like people were just awesome enough to get me drinks at the ACC. Back then they were like $10 or $12. Not even. I think they were $10 each. So yeah, not the 15 that they are nowadays.
Yeah, do you remember when $10 for a drink at the arena was like aggressive and like nonsense, not standard fare everywhere?
Yeah. Now it's like closer to 20 if you want like, real beer, craft beer, not bullshit Budweiser or whatever.
Yeah, good tall boy at any professional sporting event in Canada will cost you an arm and a leg.
Yeah, so I guess short story long, I wish I had a summer birthday, but I've always
it's a
been
good
lucky.
life, Boris.
I've always been lucky where I've been able to kind of do stuff. I don't actually, this is going to sound weird and I hope people understand what I mean, but this is kind of like an oxymoron. I don't actually care about my birthday, but I like doing something for my birthday.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Like, I'm not really one to super celebrate it, but I do like to be like in front of or around friends and family, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and like, yeah, like the summer whole vibe is so nice. My birthday is like right in the middle of July, usually around the time when the All-Star game in baseball is, and it's just like it's perfect for a barbecue, perfect for a nice little beach day. Like start drinking at noon, pass out at 6. Like it's yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a sweet deal. It's this life thing, buddy. It's good. It's it's a good gig.
It could be good sometimes. It could be good sometimes. But yeah, you know, I've told you in private, but I'm thinking more and more this year, around my birthday, around then. That doesn't give me too much time, but I'm gonna try my hands at stand up. I've been wanting to like. It's been something that I know I can do. It's been something that, you know, I've been fixated on for years, and this is like pre-pandemic, right? That's why I say years. But it's something that I think I just once, just to say I did it, just to say I tried it, just to say I got a hearty har from at least myself. That's it.
Oh man, it's a lot of fun. You can do it. I'm sure you can do it. Just like, yeah, don't wing it. That would be my advice. Write
of course.
Material. Practice your written material. If you think, well, I'm a funny person, I'll just get up there and wing it, which is the mistake that I made the first couple times I did it. It will go poorly. It will go poorly. But if you write material and you practice it and you stumble upon some good jokes and you hone those jokes and you eventually get some kind of, you know what I mean? So like your first few will be disasters, probably even with material, but write material and go to an open mic, buddy. I support you. I'll go with you for sure. That'd be a ton of fun, man.
We should honestly do that, man. I would get all the material out of my own love life. We know this. Like, I got gold there, Matt. Gold.
You don't mind wherever it can come, buddy. I'm for it.
All right. I think we've, tried to burn enough time. We have tons to go through. We have 3 shows, and we're going to start with NXT UK. This is so weird. Each and every week, we call this the best hour of WWE TV. But Matt, you know, I've been thinking about this all day. For the past hour and a half since NXT ended. And I think that the best match that we're going to talk about isn't in NXT UK, isn't in NXT.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
I think the best match of the week might have been the main event of NXT Level Up, the best match in the history of that show by a wide margin. But we'll get into it. I did like the main event. I did think overall the main event of this NXT UK show was probably the best match on our podcast. But I'm willing to hear the argument. The main event of Level Up, shockingly good.
Yep. Okay, here's the thing. Matt, what day was it? Was it it was Thursday night, right? Like after NXT UK aired, where you're like, did you see the spoilers?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Because I didn't. I was right after it was taped. I actually saw the spoilers right away, and I didn't believe them. You know what I mean? When you see a spoiler, oftentimes you won't question it. This one, I sought a second source, but no, it was true. It actually happened. And let's get into it, Boris, because it would play into both of our NXT programs.
Exactly.
Not Level Up.
Exactly. All right, here we go. The first match was my homegirl, my heart, my everything, Isla Dawn versus Myla Grace.
Yeah, ISLA V MYLA. Not the best wrestling match you'll ever see.
Nope.
Isla's a better character than she is a wrestler, but she's a good character. She's all right. She's not terrible in there. Isla Dawn wins in 5 minutes and 5 seconds with her half Nelson slam thingy.
Yeah, this was exactly. I agree with you. Isla Dawn, I don't know. I've seen better matches. I've seen a better streak from her. I don't know what's going on. Maybe her character work is just that much better that we kind of just didn't notice it. But I feel like she wrestles to her opponent's levels.
Yeah, that's a really good call. So that's what I was going to say. A big part of it is that she was working with Miko Satomura, and now she's working with Myla Grace. That's the difference there. I do want to touch on too before we move to the first segment of this show was Ashton Smith and Oliver Carter relinquishing the tag team titles, and it was a really good promo by both guys. So I just thought that was worth
checking out. If you're an NXT UK fan, it is worth your time to watch the opening segment where the tag team champions relinquish the tag team titles to the main event, setting up a fatal 4-way tag team match in the main event for the vacant titles.
Yeah, sorry about that. I actually moved this to right under this match for some reason. I do have WTF is going on. Intel Express better not actually win. Yada, yada, yada. All right. So then after this, Noam Dar. I fucking love this guy.
Noam Dar is the best. Noam Dar walks into Sid Scala's office. He's got the NXT Heritage Cup. Puts it down on the desk, basically says that he's cleaned out the division. So you know what? It's time for him to retire. So he thanks Sid Scala for everything. But wait, actually, if you give me one more match, Sid, I'm thinking giant stadium, fans sold out, chanting my name, Noam Dar, one more match, please don't go. So without Sid Scala ever saying a word, he sets up this fantastic scenario of an entire stadium chanting his name, tells Scala to get on it, book a stadium, book his final match, and double his pay. And he walks out. God, I love Noam Dar. Noam Dar is the best. He's the best wrestler on earth.
All right, I got to ask you, what do you think NXT UK's participation is going to be for Clash at the Battle weekend? Will they have an NXT show, or are they going to be part of the actual card?
No, they're not going to do an NXT show at the stadium. They're going to have 2 or 3 matches on a 14, 15 match card. You know, like maybe not 14, 15, but like 12, 13. And they'll have 2 or 3 matches. I think that's where we're going. I think they heavily teased it here. It would be disappointing almost if Noam Dar doesn't wrestle on that show now.
Agreed 100%. And like I say, especially the Tyler Bate Trent Seven payoff, that match should happen in a stadium.
Absolutely. I love where your head's at. So Noam Dar versus the best Welsh wrestler they could find, probably Mark Andrews, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's Welsh? I believe he is.
So yeah, he can win the Heritage Cup. That's great. And then you also do Trent Seven, Tyler Bate. Boom, Bob's your uncle. And maybe if you were feeling frisky, you could get the new tag team champions to drop those belts on this show too.
Yep. All right, we got a video recap of Trent Seven doing his heel thing on Tyler Bate, and then I absolutely loved this Kenny Williams promo. Yeah. It was a great promo because not only did it move the story forward, but it kind of caught you up to the whole Tiger Tran Kenny Williams feud that's going on, with Kenny Williams essentially going crazy because Tiger Tran has been tormenting the kid for so long. Now, what I do like is that they've moved on from the fact that we know that this is actually happening, and we're not seeing visions of Kenny Williams' head on TV, because that's kind of what they were teasing at originally.
Yeah, and I like it. I like exactly what you said. It's become clear that was just an artistic choice by WWE. It was a stylistic thing. This is not spooky magic. It's a real thing happening in front of our eyes. And I think, like I said before, I think the payoff is going to be that Tiger Turan is a group of people. He's not just one person. It's going to be 3 masked wrestlers. I don't think they're all going to be from Kenny's past. Definitely Amir Jordan. And I think he's going to add maybe a tag team, and there you go.
That would be really cool. All right, we get a Blair Davenport promo. She's coming back in a couple days.
I like it. Blair, Mrs. Will Ospreay. You're definitely here for some Blair Davenport.
Yep. All right, the second match of the night was Sarai versus Nina Samuels.
So good match. Definitely better than the first. Sarai is an excellent worker. Nina Samuels is okay. She's pretty good. She definitely can hang with a Sarai. I was hoping that they would kind of tone down the character a little bit, but no, she's full on Sailor Moon Power Ranger still. So that's just Sarai. So that sucks. I feel bad for her on that front because that character sucks and is borderline racist. The wrestler, incredible. Very, very talented.
All right. This leads us. So Sarai ends up winning. She does her exploder suplex. How many crumpets would you give this match?
Yes. First match, 2 Guinnesses out of 5. This match, 3 Guinnesses out of 5.
All right. And this leads us straight into a promo. So we see Sarai walking through the back, and then we see a confrontation with Zaya Brookside. And essentially, Miko Satomura comes to the aid of Sarai. So it looks like we're going to be getting a tag team match.
It just this made Sarai look weak, is what it did. It just literally Zaya Brookside and Eliza Alexander were intimidating, bullying Sarai. It looked like they were about to attack her. And Miko Satomura, principal, teacher, walks by, and the mean girls run away. So I get that she is the final boss. She is Bowser out here. So I guess everyone should fear her. But at the same time, they made Sarai look weaker than I think she needed to.
Yep. Exactly. We'll see exactly. I didn't like it, but at the same time, I like the pairing. It just, again, Sarai, considering how they booked Asuka, considering how they booked, remember Io Shirai, it's a shame, right?
Yeah. But maybe it's just going to be a good tag team for a couple weeks, eventually leading to Sarai versus Miko Satomura, which will rule. That will be an awesome match if and when we get there.
Yep. All right. And the third match was the aforementioned four-way elimination match for the vacated WWE NXT UK Tag Team Championship. We have the Incel Express, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen versus D. Familia versus Mark Andrews and Wild Boar versus Dave Mastiff and Jack Stars.
So the three Jack Stars, the three stars ZZZ of this match. Bronze, number 3, the third star. Jack Stars. I thought he was fabulous in this match. The second star of this match, star number 2, Charlie Dempsey on the outside, suplexing motherfuckers. He was better than almost everyone in this match. Boris, the best wrestler in this match was your boy, Josh Briggs, with a breakout performance. Yep. He blew me away, dude, in this match. He was selling his ass off. He the offense, he literally was like holding the match together at the end, like storyline wise, and I think just in general working wise. This was the performance of Josh Briggs' career. Breakout performance from this guy. Very, very impressed with Josh Briggs in this match.
I told you, right? Like last year during the breakout tournament, he was my pick. His work in Evolve and in the Indies was just like awesome. So seeing him in 2.0 with Brooks has just been so disappointing. But seeing this match was just so good. That's my note number 1. Note number 2, I hate to say this, just because I hate being that guy. I'm usually not that guy, but I'm going to be that guy this time. When is Dempsey's contract over?
Blackpool Combat Club or death? No, I think actually this whole thing really seems like DFME is going to challenge Brooks and Jensen on the main roster. I think that's going to be the ticket to Charlie Dempsey coming up, right? Like on the NXT 2.0 roster. So.
Yeah. I'm thinking the same, but man, Charlie Dempsey is just so good. Even in a managerial role, you know, he whipped out his manager's license for a night, but he was still whooping ass.
Man, he's the best wrestler as a manager in this match, basically, other than Josh Briggs, who was in it for literally the entire 18 minutes and 18 seconds that it went.
Yeah, he was basically there the entire match. It was absolutely insane. This match was great. Honestly, I really did enjoy this match for what it was. They did give this match a lot of time. And Josh Briggs, man, he basically was in the ring the entire time. He took everyone on except for his tag team partner.
Yeah, basically, indeed. So yeah, it is a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match. Brooks Jensen and Josh Briggs versus Dave Mastiff and Jack Stars versus Mandrews, the Welshman Mark Andrews, and Wild Boar, his tag team partner, and DFME of Teoman and Rohan Raja. So about 9.5 minutes in, Stars pins your boy Welshman Andrews. Yes, with the old small package. Then at 12-ish minutes, there is the Seek and Destroy on Mastiff, which knocks him to his knees, and then a second Seek and Destroy. That's Rohan Raja's finishing move. It's like the old complete shot, the old there's so many names for that. Flatliner is another name for it. Anyway, so yeah, at about 12 minutes, DFME eliminates the big boy and the small boy, Mastiff and Stars. So that leaves DFME and Briggs and Jensen. And the whole story is that like Briggs is the better wrestler than Jensen. Jensen is the scrappy young kid who just wants to, he's the little brother. He's the little dog. He just wants to make Briggs proud. But Briggs has had the shit beaten out of him this entire time. So Briggs has to tag Jensen. And then Jensen kind of has to keep him afloat while Briggs heals up, while the energy bar gets back to green so Briggs can come back in and win this match. I actually like the story they were telling here.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly, you said it the best humanly way possible. And yeah, like Jensen and he starts hitting discus punches on everyone. He tags in Briggs. Briggs and Jensen kick DFME off the apron. Briggs and Jensen connect with the running lariat leg sweep combo for the win. That was it. Fallon Henley comes into the ring. We have new WWE NXT UK Tag Team Champions, ISLA Express, Josh Briggs, Brooks Jensen.
Yeah, and a breakout performance for Josh Briggs, like we said. So all things considered, I thought very good match. I'll give it a B+, 3 3/4 Guinnesses out of 5 for this one, Boris. I thought it was pretty dang good.
Yep, agreed 100% with you. All right, so that was NXT UK. Are you ready to level up a bit?
Oh, let's do it.
So it's kind of funny, just because we are going chronological order, but like I said, this week's Level Up had possibly the best match of the week from the NXT brand, and yeah, we'll see what we thought of the rest of the show. So again, it was pretty simple show. Nigel McGuinness and Sudu Shah were on commentary. The first match was Quincy Elliott versus Bryson Montana.
Yes, so we've seen both of these people in NXT before, just for cups of coffee. Quincy Elliott is big man. He's a Yokozuna type Pokemon. He is a Viscera type Pokemon.
Doesn't Bryson Montana remind you of Powerhouse Hobbs?
Oh, big time. Good call. Bryson Montana is the guy who sometimes wears a bulletproof vest around NXT. He's worn the bulletproof vest to the ring. That's his entrance gear. So yeah, big man Quincy Elliott versus the poor man's Powerhouse Hobbs, Bryson Montana.
Yeah, here's the thing. Quincy Elliott, man, I see so much of Viscera, Mabel, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, a lot of Viscera there. You can definitely see he's the new Vis. There's a lot of Funkasaurus in him.
Yep.
He's a lot of Rikishi in him. He's the dancing fat guy du jour.
Yep. Bryson Montana, honestly, I really hope that they get this guy on the NXT regular roster, because I do see a lot from him. He's strong, he's athletic. I think he's actually pretty good. He doesn't get the win here. Big splash from Elliott in the corner for the win. Quincy Elliott gets this win.
Yes, the Brett's Rope big splash for Quincy Elliott to defeat Bryson Montana. My opinion, an upset. I thought Bulletproof Vest was going to win for sure.
Same here. All right, next match. Kiana James versus, I love this name because you have to enunciate so you don't say brawler, Brooklyn Barlow.
The Brooklyn Barlow. I fucking love it. It's so good.
Like, I'm going to be calling this person Brooklyn Brawler so much. I feel sorry for her.
She is officially on this podcast, the Brooklyn Barlow. From now on, she must be. Yeah, so Kiana James getting a push.
Yeah.
Librarian heel. The Stacy Keibler character, Miss Hancock 2.0.
Oh, so many jokes. I don't know which one to use. None. No, honestly. Kiana James is super, super fun to watch as an entertainer.
She's improving. She's already in the few matches, 4 or 5 we've seen. She looks way more comfortable.
Yep. And I'm pretty sure a lot of this has to do with the fact that they are touring again, because even on tonight's show, you saw some improvement from some people. Anyways, Kiana James wins with a face buster.
Yeah, so again, the first 2 matches were below average, 2-ish probably stars. But Kiana James, you can see improving in front of our eyes. Good for her.
Yep. All right, the main event, Ike Manjiro versus Ru Feng in the main event.
The first match that I've seen on Level Up that I would say is a good match for sure. If you're ever going to watch a single match in the history of Level Up, watch every Ariana Grace match and then this one.
Pretty much. This one is great. Ikemen Jiro was basically getting his ass kicked throughout the entire match. I guess that's his shtick, right? He's kind of like the Japanese 1-2-3 kid or something.
I love it. Yeah, except with a little more comedy in there. He's got his jacket. He's got a little bit of joking spots, but this was more of a serious Ikemen Jiro, and that's why the match was so good. Yep. And like you said, Ru Feng took like 75% of it, beat the crap out of this man, but then Ikemen Jiro made a really good comeback and won. Basic formula, but just a very good match, good work, and Jiro carried Feng here. He like really made him look good.
Yep.
Sold his ass off for this man.
Yeah, this one is a very fun match. Ikemen wins with the Ikemen slice for the win.
Yes, sir. So yeah, I would say safely 3.5, maybe even. I was gonna go 3.5. Solid B for Ikemen Jiro and Ru Feng there on NXT Level Up.
Yep. So that was NXT Level Up. Half decent show. Let us talk about the, I guess, go home show for Great American Bash.
I suppose so. Yeah, the go home show for Great American Bash, July 5th. Gonna be a good one. A good one. This show wasn't. It was the one that it was just getting us from point A to point B. It was a little boring, but it was okay. There was some good stuff on it.
Exactly. But gotta hit the bump before we do that. It's funny. I gotta say, I was trying to look for what good song we can use. So I just took the NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 theme. Love some Slipknot. Love some NXT old school music. That's what we're using at least this week. Trying to find something a little, something that we can use, something a little fun. I like these little stuff.
That's nice, man. Yeah, if we do keep this format, we're going to need an entrance music for NXT, and that's what I suggest. Let's use all the old NXT songs. We got Coheed and Cambria. We got Wild and Young, the worst song ever. I love it.
Yep. And throwing some Poppy in there.
All of the Poppy hits.
All the Poppy. So all one of them?
Yes. All of the Poppy hit. Yes.
All right, so the show kicks off. We get the opening match right away, and it's Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez versus Katana Chance, Kayden Carter. The winner gets to face Toxic Attraction at Great American Bash. Toxic Attraction is in their Toxic Lounge balcony. I really enjoyed this match.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good, not great match. Roxanne Perez, a great wrestler. I would not say anyone else in this match is great yet. I would say Roxanne's already great.
She is looking amazing in the ring. She looks like she belongs and then some. But I have to say, Cora Jade is improving tremendously fast right now.
Big time. You know what a big thing with very young wrestlers, and if you see an indie show, it's confidence in their offense.
Yes.
It's like them believing that now it's time and they have moves that look good that the fans react to. And we didn't see a lot of confidence in offense until this moment. Like Cora Jade was in there kicking some ass, throwing some hard knees, doing some shit. Like she didn't look like a scared indie wrestler. She looked like she was ready to fight people, right? And win.
And that's, you hit the nail on the head, because that's what Roxanne Perez already has. She has that confidence that, like, I belong and I'm going to actually make it look like I'm going to kick your ass. And that's what Roxanne Perez already has. That's what Cora Jade showed tonight. And I got to say, like, even her arm drags were looking better. Her running knees to the face when they're leaning on the ropes, they looked so much better than they usually do. I really enjoyed Cora Jade's offense here. And having said that, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, they're looking pretty good too.
Katana Chance, Casey Catanzaro, incredible athlete. Arguably one of the greatest athletes they've ever signed in the women's division. Like it's her, it's Lash Legend, Charlotte Flair, you could argue too, is an incredible athlete. Bianca Belair is probably the best, but Katana Chance's, in terms of pure athleticism, for like pound for pound too, her speed, her she does things that no one in this company can do except for her. And that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool when you have a wrestler on your roster who can do something like that.
And I'm going to give this match a little extra credit because throughout the match, Chance and Carter were acting like the heels, and this literally fed right into a promo later on where they're really hinting at the heel turn for Chance and Carter.
I think that's a mistake, but you're right. You're completely right. What you said is not the mistake. Their decision is the mistake. You're bang on about it. I don't get it. I wouldn't do it, but that seems to be the case.
We'll talk about it when we talk about the Great American Bash, but I have a feeling that there's going to be a couple empty spots for female heels moving forward.
By God Almighty. Although we've been calling that for a little bit, but
I'm going to call it every special show just so that when it happens, I can Barry Horowitz myself.
There you go. That's the way to do it, buddy. So
right.
Yeah, I would say at least. Oh, did we get to the finish yet?
No, not yet. Literally where I'm going. So Perez got tagged in. She got taken out by a forearm. Chance wasn't on the apron, but she got there. There's a little miscommunication there. That's really the only part where I was like, hey, which is not bad for NXT 2.0. Chance and Carter went for their finisher. Jade dragged Carter away. Perez hit Chance with the Pop Rocks, the code red, for the win at 13 minutes 45 seconds to become the number one contenders to the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship.
Yes, sir. The Pop Rocks, the Code Red, the Sunset Flip Bomb. So, yes, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade, number one contenders, and Roxanne did not have to use her free shot for winning the tournament.
Exactly. I was gonna note that the commentators are making a huge deal of the fact that she still has a contract for a title opportunity, as they say in WWE, and that she earned this one. So that was kind of cool about the commentators. Now, my one nitpick has nothing to do about the match. Why the F was the crowd dead for this match?
Yeah, the crowd was really sitting on their hands. You could argue that they were, into the match. They were being respectful and watching it. But yeah, it really seemed like it wasn't, especially at the start of the show, wasn't the hot crowd that we've come to expect from NXT, even now, even in 2.0. But maybe part of that was Level Up sucked. What was the last couple matches they've seen? Who knows? But I did think it wasn't the worst crowd overall. They got into a lot of stuff, but they were dead here. I agree.
Yep. All right. So how would you rate this match?
Well, as we'll touch on later, we saw a man drowned and murdered on this show, ? So I would go 3 cement shoes out of 5 for this one, Boris.
Yep. All right. Joe Gacy and the grizzled young bathrobe druids walks up to the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. They try to recruit the Creeds to the dyad. Julius said that he's not sipping the Kool-Aid, kind of like that reference, and Diamond Mine was forever. Roderick Strong shows up, calls Gacy an idiot. Gacy ended up challenging the Diamond Mine to a match, so it's Diamond on.
Yeah, I actually like this Diamond Mine Shades of Grey. I don't think this is confusing, bad guys, good guys mixing for the sake of it. I think this is very clear. Everyone in Diamond Mine is, the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile, hardcore baby faces, hardworking, strong athletes. They just want to win. Roderick Strong, dickhead coach. He's been a heel. He never turned babyface. He's always been a heel. We can expect Roderick Strong to be a heel. We don't trust Roderick. Damon Kemp, we don't know. He's too young. Roderick Strong is trying to poison his mind, but Damon Kemp also might be just a good, hardworking athlete. I actually think this is really intriguing. I kind of dig this angle a lot, this Diamond Mine right now.
Yep. The answer to Cesaro leaving, Giovanni Vinci makes his weird photo camera effect entrance.
Love it.
I don't know, man. It's so cheesy.
It is extremely cheesy. It's very cheesy. It's like, I'm surprised they didn't do this for Rick the Model Martel way back in the day. I'm sure if they would have thought of it, they would have. But I don't know. It's working for Giovanni. He needed a little something, and this is it.
Yep. All right, but before the match, the hardest working reporter in all of professional wrestling, Mackenzie Mitchell, interviews Toxic Attraction about Jade and Perez becoming #1 contenders to the tag team titles. Jade and Dolan trash talk Jade and Perez. Rose said that Perez better not be saving her title shot for the women's title. This is when Nikita Lyons shows up, saying that Perez might not even have the title shot if she wasn't injured. Rose trash talks Lyons. We get a match later on the show, and I was trying to make a joke, but it's too easy. Low-hanging fruit.
I got you, buddy. This is the thirstiest match in the history of wrestling. Not since Fully Loaded 1998 bikini contest. Not since Miss Kitty was out there flashing people randomly in a pool have we seen a match this thirsty. Mandy versus Nikita. Let's go.
Yep. All right. Second match of the night: Giovanni Vinci versus Ikemen Jiro.
Okay, this was not the competitive match that the roof. So, like you said, Ikemen Jiro's entire thing is just getting squashed. But you either get squashed 75% and then he wins, or he gets squashed 100% and he loses. Guess which one this was?
100% and he loses.
Yes, sir. Although it was an excellent squash. Vinci hit a DDT, a tornado DDT that got a holy shit chant. How many tornado DDTs do we see? He got a holy shit chant. His finisher is the Kota Ibushi sit out last ride. It looks like he's killed 2 men in a row with his finisher. There are 2 fatalities from this finisher.
Yep.
Back-to-back weeks.
3 minutes. That's all it took for Ikemen Jiro to lose and Giovanni Vinci to continue his undefeated streak.
So in terms of in-ring action, this was not the best match on the show. It was not the best match on our podcast. In terms of what I enjoyed watching the most, my favorite thing by far, Giovanni Vinci destroying Ikemen Jiro this week, beating the crap out of this man. It was great. I loved it. I'm going to go 3 3/4 for this one too. Fully biased. I don't care. This was an excellent squash match.
And I love when the Italian Giovanni Vinci said there is no Great American Bash without him.
Ironically, I don't think he's on the Great American Bash card.
Yeah, that's the funniest part. He needs a manager. That's what he needs.
Well, give him time. Give him time, because he cut a promo last week for like 5 seconds. It was okay. We don't know yet if he needs a manager. I think you might be right, but give him some time to sink or swim on his own first, in my opinion.
Exactly. All right. We see highlights of Briggs and Jensen somehow winning the tag team titles from NXT UK. Inexplicably. Exactly. Josh Briggs, Brooke Jensen, and Fallon Henley are walking to the ring as we head to commercial. Back from commercial, the hardest working reporter in all of professional wrestling, Mackenzie Mitchell, interviews Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams about their win last week. Mello gloats about being the A champion. This is when Grayson Waller shows up with random basketball and a bunch of 8x10s and a bunch of pieces of paper. He was sucking up to Mello and Trick, sucking up so much so that Mello and Trick weren't paying attention to anything they were doing because they love being told how great they are. Waller asked Mello to sign his basketball. He said he'll do it because Waller took care of Solo. Waller made Mello sign a bunch of photos, a t-shirt, papers, etc., etc., etc. And Mello and Trick said that Waller is a good guy, ...
Yeah, this paid off later, but this was pretty funny. And it was clear that Grayson had something cooking up here. But for now, these guys are just signing basketballs and photos and random papers.
Yeah. Incel Express comes out.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
No, I was just I actually quite enjoyed that heel versus heel.
Yeah.
Trying to out heel each other, and especially the way it paid off. Again, so like you said, your boys, the Incel Express, they show up, and once again we see just Josh Briggs just outclassing Brooks Jensen.
Yeah. Brooks is so good. Briggs is so good. Brooks needs help so badly, but you know what? Whatever. At this point, they're champs. We'll see where this goes. They did some talking. They said that Brooks said he's proud of Briggs said he's proud of Brooks. Phil and Henley said it was time to drink some more beers. They were interrupted by Pretty Deadly Kit Wilson and Elton Prince. Prince said that he and Wilson are delicious snacks, and they made the tag titles relevant. They said the titles are now around the waste of trash. They said they're going to give Pretty Deadly an Alabama ass kicking. That's what Briggs said. Wilson did a Alabama Crimson title tie chant comedically. Pretty Deadly gloated in the ring about their tag team accolades with their "Yes Boy" catchphrase. Briggs said that Pretty Deadly looked like Zoolander. Briggs then said they could have a match against Pretty Deadly. This led to a brawl. Briggs gave Kit an atomic drop while Henley slapped him. Jensen put Prince on the apron so he and Briggs could punch him off. Country boys celebrate and still are virgins.
Well, to be fair, only Brooks Jensen is. I think it's implied that Josh Briggs fucks Boris.
I love that term.
This was weird-ish. It was not what I was expecting, but it's a pretty good direction for the NXT UK champions to take, I suppose. Like, they might as well wrestle Pretty Deadly, I suppose. Why not? And then I think this is probably going to lead to Pretty Deadly winning the titles at some point, maybe not next week, but at some point. And then they will be the ones to go back to the UK and lose them to Smith and Carter.
That would be a horrible career trajectory for them. You know, they get the big call up to NXT, or the, called across the pond, I should say.
Yeah.
Getting a good opportunity here in NXT. They already won the tag team titles here. They're looking pretty good. People seem to be catching on with them. Then they kind of get a sideways demotion back for a little bit. That would suck for them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I understand looking at it like that, but I think it would more be mop-up duty. You know what I mean? I don't think it would be a sideways demotion as much as them just kind of, they would win the titles in this scenario and then just like, yeah, I guess I know what you're saying, but it's not like, it's not because of them or their talent. It's just because of circumstance in the division, right? So you're right though. I guess you're right. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's, they're going to be, we'll see what happens, but it would.
I wouldn't, it's not something I would lose a wink of sleep over though. Although you're right. I don't think it's long-term it should be anything they would worry about. Right.
Yeah. Exactly. Katana Chance, Kate and Carter are shown looking salty as F, as the kids say. Salty.
Absolutely. They were, like you said, kind of lean and heel here.
Tatum Paxley says something. Carter got in her face, thinking she was looking at them the wrong way. Paxley said Carter didn't have to snap at her just because they lost the match. Chance and Carter kind of look at each other like two good heels would.
Yeah, exactly. Caden Carter with the crazy super neon turquoise contacts in, kind of looking evil. Kind of had some evil eyes going, some evil avatar eyes.
Yep. Indy Hartwell. I don't think there's anyone on the roster in this point I feel so bad for.
Yeah, she is lost in the shuffle now.
Turned into the new Dakota Kai.
Yeah, big time. Nah. And she had so much potential. Not that she doesn't still have that potential, but just like
she's lost
year
right
ago.
Now. She's got nothing to do.
A year ago, it just seemed like she would be in the main roster and wrestling for titles soon. She was like this big, huge, pushed, talented wrestler. And now she just seems like, seems like she's lost all her confidence, literally losing on TV all the time now. Crazy.
Yep. This week, who did she lose to? She lost to Kiana James. This match was pretty short, 3 minutes, 50 seconds. Hartwell gave James strikes. She was selling a gut injury. Hartwell hit James with a face wash boot for a 2 count. Hartwell then crashed and burned off her slingshot elbow drop. James rolled up Hartwell with feet on the bottom ropes for leverage for the win. So not entirely a clean win, but a win nonetheless for Kiana James.
Yeah, pretty bad match. If you wanted to be generous, you could call it 2 cement shoes out of 5. Well, let's give it 2 cement shoes. Kiana James is improving. She's working hard. But yeah, a bad match, worst on the show.
Yep. All right. Let's go to cinematic mode on your camera and your TV sets because it's time for AO Gabagool. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. They're standing over a bridge. D'Angelo said that 2 dimes went after his heart, and now he's sleeping with the fishes because he tried to be the Don of NXT. D'Angelo threw 2 dimes gold watch into the river. This is when Santos Escobar calls Tony D'Angelo on the phone and was just laughing at him, making fun of the fact that he didn't win the North American title. D'Angelo hangs up the phone, throws it in the river as well, and that was that.
So the only thing I hate about this angle is Tony D'Angelo is an idiot for ever trusting Santos. Like, obviously, Santos and Legado were going to turn on you at the first drop of a hat. They should have done something. I don't know. It just kind of feels like poor storytelling and unsatisfying that Tony just expected Santos to now work with him. You know what I mean? Other than that, I always like Tony D'Angelo's work when he speaks. He's a really good promo. I like the cheesy, like Godfather style, like slow clarinet playing under this thing. Yep. You know what I mean? Like this was good pro wrestling cheese right here.
Exactly. That's exactly the way that I saw it. There was nothing overly wrong with this outside of some obvious logic, but it's wrestling. It is wrestling. Let's go to Wesley.
I think it makes sense that Santos would turn on him. It just makes Tony look like a complete fucking idiot, which sucks.
Yep. Wesley cuts a promo about how Trick Williams ruined a moment where he was bearing his soul. Lee said that Trick sees wearing your heart on your sleeve as a weakness, but Lee sees it as a strength. He hypes up beating Trick Williams next week at the Gab.
Yep, good promo. I thought he needed to cut this exact promo too. Like tears, real men cry, Boris, that kind of thing. So I don't know if I'd make it his whole character, if I'd make him a blubbering idiot, but it's okay to show some sensitivity in times of trouble and times of peril. And it doesn't make you a weak. And Wesley, I hope he beats Trick Williams and challenges for the North American title.
Yeah, agreed. I hope that's the direction that they go with this. I'm digging Wesley. We always said that Wesley had so much potential. He's been given promo time. I think his promos are good enough and to good. So let's see where we can go with Wesley.
Yeah, last week's promo was excellent. Now, he's mostly just been a guy, but last week's promo was awesome work, and I think he's kind of on the map again.
Yeah. All right. Diamond Mine, Roderick Strong, Brutus Creed, and Julius Creed with Ivy Nile and Damon Kemp versus Joe Gacy and the Grizzled Young Red Druids.
I feel so bad for these men, these grizzled young veterans, allegedly in the costumes. Man, it must be so hot. Like Brutus Creed is sweating his balls off wrestling just in his gear. Boris, I'm sweating my balls off just doing this podcast. Could you imagine working in a studio under those lights in Florida with all those screaming Floridians? It must be so hot in those dumb fucking garbs. Man, a poor dyad. They were draped in velour like Zap Brannigan on Futurama or something. What the fuck is
or
this?
George Costanza?
Just velvet everywhere.
Okay, so this is what I hate the most about these matches. Which one is which?
Well, that's the thing, Boris. As we saw in the finish, twin magic is happening with this dyad.
Yeah. All right. So let's just get to the. What do you want to highlight in this match?
Well, we're supposed to. The story is that the Diamond Mine would have won it had Roderick Strong's bullying and bad coaching at this point not gotten in the way. Roderick Strong is getting selfish and he's becoming a dick, and his interests are taking over the interests of the Diamond Mine. That's the story of this match.
Yeah. So Julius hit Dyad number 1 with a tornado gut wrench suplex. Strong then tags himself in. Julius looks pretty pissed. He nails Dyad number 1 with a knee. While Strong and Julius were bickering, Gacy tried to hit Strong with his handstand lariat finisher. Brutus saw it coming, gave Gacy a pounce. Then we got the twin magic with the Dyad members. The Dyad dumped the Creeds to ringside. Dyad gave Strong a draping double team DDT for the win in 13 minutes, 56 seconds. Your winners, Joe Gacy and the Grizzled Young Druids.
Yes, I like this finisher. It sets up like the magic killer, like the assisted vertical suplex with the opponent's feet on the other tag partner's shoulders. And then from that position, they just drop it into a DDT. Looks brutal. Looks like a devastating tag team finisher. I like it.
Yep. How would you rate this match, my friend?
It was good. I like the storytelling. I like the action. 3 cement shoes out of 5, buddy.
Yep. All right, the hardest working reporter in all professional wrestling informs Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams that Mello now has to defend his title against Grayson Waller next week at the Gab because Mello signed the match contract. Mello said he never did such a thing. Mackenzie noted that Mello signed it when he was signing Waller's merch. Trick and Mello talk about how they were tricked.
Yeah, so again, it sucks to make your characters look like idiots. Although Mello is a heel, it's kind of okay to make your heels look like idiots. Okay. And it was two heels out healing each other. So
does he look like
this one worked?
Because it's like, okay, so similar to how Carmelo Hayes called his shot at Stand and Deliver and yes, wanted to face five guys. Similar to that, his ego got in the way and Waller played that up. He played up his ego. He played his ego. He stroked his ego and was able to get this contract signed, right? So I like that part. The one thing is that I wish somehow we saw off camera that Waller actually did this as opposed to something that we get mention of. That's my one little nitpick about this. But I do like where this is going in. I'm not necessarily thinking that Hayes and Williams are idiots just because their egos are too big for themselves.
That's a good argument. I could see that for sure. Yeah, that's kind of what we were hoping to project here, I feel like. And also, it's so ridiculous and so silly that I feel like it kind of just you can't take it too seriously anyway. Like, obviously, he would have seen an actual contract there. Like, it was just a pile of photos. I don't know. It's so absurd and so silly that I accept it. But I do think if you want to say this made Carmelo look like a complete fucking idiot, I would accept that as well.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this was fine.
See, this is why you never should take anyone. And if you think that they're acting sus, as the kids say, go with your gut.
Exactly right, buddy.
All right, we see Alba Fire's Alba Fire's win via DQ from last week. Lash Legend jabbed her in the throat with a bat. Doctor tried to give the injury report, but Lash Legend booted her away. Lash Legend claimed that Alba Fire is on the shelf permanently. Lash said that the NXT women's division better stay out of her way.
Permanently out of action. I wonder what that means. It could mean a number of things, Boris.
Sanga makes his entrance. Zion Quinn attacks Sanga during the entrance. Refs run out. Everyone gets pulled apart as we run into commercial. Back from commercial, Brutus and Julius were tossing around stuff in the locker room. Roderick Strong berated both of the Creeds for not listening to him while they were winning. Julius pointed out that they did listen, yet Strong continues to berate them. Strong said he's going to teach the Creeds a lesson next week when he and Kemp beat the Creeds for the tag team titles.
Yeah, so the Diamond Mine explodes? Could it be? I hope not, but we might be going there.
All right. Next match, Sanga versus Zion Quinn. Dude, I'm digging Sanga. I'm really liking this character a lot.
Big time, yeah. The gentle giant Sanga, he's got gear now. He's got new gear.
Yep. Quinn put Sanga in a half Nelson. Sanga hit Quinn with a lariat. He then body slammed Quinn. He did a throat slash, and he gave Quinn a choke slam for the win in 5 minutes, 8 seconds.
Yeah, pretty squashy squash. Sanga he's a big giant, looking like a giant Dan Severn in there. Yeah, that's kind of what he looked like with his gear and his new look. But yeah, actually, this was probably the worst match on the show, all things considered. But you know what? I like the Sanga character. Push him strong, totally fine.
Yep.
It's one single cement shoe out of 5.
Yeah. We see the transformation of Cameron Grimes' character. We get a vignette. We get the hype video about him going after the NXT Championship at Great American Bash. Vic Joseph continues to hype Grimes and Breaker facing off for this show, which is something that I completely forgot was actually supposed to happen.
Yeah, it was the main event of this television program, Boris. It was.
Yeah. All right. So Wendy Chu having nightmares about Tiffany Stratton. We see Chu having good dream about her getting the best over Tiffany Stratton. We get some kitty music playing in the background. Chu got up, went to brush her teeth. We can hear her thoughts for some reason. Chu said Tiffany must be stupid. Chu said it's simple. She gets in Tiffany's head and picks up the win. Chu said she'd see Tiffany at the bash. So some more,
See what?
That's So Raven stuff going on here.
Yes, that's so Wendy. See, Wendy Chu does not have any discernible character. She's just a series of skits, and that's why I don't like the Wendy Chu character. I like the performer, and I'm sure that her and Tiffany Stratton will have a good match at the Great American Bash 2022.
Yep. Actually, because in my notes here, I put the G4 commercial. Here's a fun little fact. You know who's in town today?
In Toronto?
Yeah.
No, who?
Liv Morgan.
No, really? Nice.
Yeah, a buddy of mine ran into her, and I'm like, you lucky son of a bitch.
No way. That's crazy. Yeah. Nice.
All right. NXT Women's Champion Mandy Rose with Gigi Dolan and JC Jane versus Nikita Lyons in a non-title match.
The thirstiest match in decades in WWE.
Yeah. So.
I mean, 5 stars. No, this was a wrestling match. I mean, they Nikita Lyons has had in her WWE career 5 matches, in her whole career 25, 30 max maybe. So like she's very, very new to the game. Mandy Rose on the most improved list. She's NXT. Her NXT stint has worked. She has gotten better, more confident, has a good character now. This is completely rehabbed her. This was a good little match. It was okay anyway. I thought it was inoffensive, very choreographed, but it could have been way worse than it was.
Could have been so much worse. Like I like the how they were really building up the fact that Nikita Lyons has brute strength, and Mandy Rose was trying to outfox her. And that was essentially the story that they were going for. At one point, Lyons hit Rose with a German suplex. Lyons gets a 2 count. Rose punches Lyons off the ropes. Then Rose hits Lyons with a missile drop kick. She avoids the knee finisher. Lyons then hits Rose with a Taekwondo kick. But this is when Dolan and Jane run in, beat down Lyons for the DQ in 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, bullshit WCW Nitro finish here. That was kind of disappointing.
Yeah.
But that notwithstanding, I thought this was actually kind of okay. I think the bad finish, you'd probably have to knock a point off.
The one thing that I'm okay with here is the fact that your champion didn't get pinned.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world to have the champion in a match against the challenger and have a DQ happen. Actually, come to think of it, that's a wrestling trope. It doesn't
often in WWE
it doesn't ruin my weekend.
Yeah. How often in WWE does your champion get pinned? Right? Like, how do you get a championship shot now in WWE? You already have to beat the champion, right? So the champion has to get pinned. We see it all the time in WWE TV. It happens every single freaking time. So it's kind of cool that they're protecting a champion. God forbid, right?
You know what, Boris? I think you won me over, and I'm going to bump this back to the Mendoza line. I think we got 2.5 cement shoes out of 5 right here, buddy.
Yep. Solo Sikoa was hanging out with Apollo Crews backstage. Solo said that Waller got lucky last week. Crews said Solo needs to hold his head high. Sikoa said it means something to encourage him, to get encouragement from him. Quinn tried to trash talk Solo. Crews said that he's got this. Crews asked Quinn what Quinn's problem was. Quinn talks about being handsome and the future of WWE. Crews mocked Quinn for being cheesy. Crews said Quinn might see his future as being bright, but when he looks at Quinn's future, things don't look so good. I don't like how they're continuing this future storytelling Apollo Crews. Having said that, I think it's just big coincidence, but okay, Apollo Crews. This is the Apollo Crews that we need.
Oh, 1,000,000%, 1,000,000,000%. Yeah, Apollo Crews was doing a good job here. He was confident. He's not a bad promo. I've always thought he was he couldn't speak or something, but he's doing a fine job. He can absolutely speak. Yeah.
Yep.
So the funniest thing to me about this though, man, was that look at Apollo Crews. He's this incredible athlete, humongous guy, power lifter who can do backflips and all this stuff. And Zion Quinn tells Apollo Crews that he's got a better future because he's good looking and he can maybe do TV shows because he's handsome. And he's right.
He's right.
That's the craziest part about this whole thing. Zion Quinn is actually right. What are we watching?
No, that made me laugh so hard, actually, and I was going to bring that up.
Oh, what a world we live in, buddy.
I know, right? All right, Cameron Grimes, Braun Breaker with 2Ks coming into the Performance Center 1 hour and 51 minutes late for work, you sons of bitches.
Hilarious. They let Braun Breaker talk this week, though. He got a chance to say words and formulate an opinion. He's an intelligent guy. He's not just a grunting idiot loser getting locked in cages, literally.
Yeah, all right. But before that, we saw a vignette for J.D. McDonough. He talks about how he's tired of seeing others take a page out of his playbook. We see clips of Devlin from NXT, NXT UK. He said he's the necessary evil of NXT. He said he's not just the ace of the UK, he's the ace of everywhere. And then he said, see you soon.
Love it. Hopefully very, very soon. I think he could easily step into this brand and be a top act, obviously.
Yep. I like this. I like how it's essentially the same character, just different name. I can live with that.
It is the exact same character, even showing his best highlights from UK, and they just renamed him. So yeah, the fact that they must rename everyone is dumb, but we've done that rant 1,000 times. His real name's Jordan Devlin. He wasn't going to use it on the main roster if ever. He made it there, so cool. Give him a new name.
All right, Wade Barrett introduces Braun Breaker and Cameron Grimes to the ring. Barrett was the moderator. Breaker said that they didn't need Barrett in the ring. He respectfully said for Barrett to get the fuck out of the ring, essentially. Barrett left. Breaker with 2Ks said Grimes has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Grimes said that if Breaker loses the championship, he still has a future, like getting called up to Raw or SmackDown or even being part of SummerSlam. Grimes said that he's putting all his chips on the line against Breaker. Grimes said that for him, if he loses, that's it. Grimes said he has no backup plan. Grimes said Breaker treats WWE like a backup plan because he couldn't cut it in the NFL, and that Breaker has a Hall of Fame father. Breaker brought up beating up the last person. That brought up his father. Breaker mocked Grimes by saying that Grimes is going to the moon. He said he's going to spear Grimes, break him, maybe with 2Ks. Grimes said that no matter what Breaker does, he'll get back up. Not back up. Breaker said he'll just keep knocking down Grimes to the point where Grimes will have to crawl back to his friend Ted DiBiase. Breaker said he's bigger, faster, stronger. Grimes said everybody gets that, but what Breaker doesn't have is heart, and he doesn't have the heart of Cameron Grimes. Grimes said it's not Breaker's fault, but just genetics. Grimes said Rick Steiner didn't have heart. Breaker attacked Grimes. Grimes dodged Breaker from the corner. Grimes then tossed Breaker so hard into the corner that the turnbuckle fell out. Breaker sold a bicep injury while the medics were checking on him. Grimes said that maybe he wasn't able to beat a 100% Breaker before, but he's not 100% now. He laughs on his way out.
So yeah, big takeaways. Grimes leaning heel in this promo says that Breaker's daddy ain't had no heart either. That's why he was never world champion, Rick Steiner. That caused Breaker to snap. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like I think they tried this once and it didn't work, and then they tried it again, and then the gimmicked ring exploded.
Yeah,
but
that's what happened.
Cameron Grimes, on the second attempt, throws Breaker into the turnbuckles. Braun Breaker takes the Bret Hart style bump, and the ring comes apart. So
maybe
he's
it was
injured.
meant to happen because the first time, like I said, he dodged him and it didn't break. It was the second time where he took the Bret Hart bump that he kind of did take it all down with him.
All right, there you go. Then it probably was meant to go exactly the way it did then. I thought he just got whipped into the corner twice the exact same, and it just didn't break on the second time. But yeah, so the ring explodes. We're supposed to believe that Braun Breaker is now injured, and I thought this was not only a good promo, but a pretty kind of clever little thing to wrap up the show. Like, this was an okay idea, WWE style, very much so, like a big elaborate production. The ring explodes to some extent, but I liked it, all things considered. You know, like sometimes you got to shoot a shot, and I think this shot went in.
Yep, agreed. I like this. I'm a lot more excited for this match than I was for Gacy and Breaker. Having said that, Gacy and Breaker gave us a good match. I think Grimes and Breaker are gonna give us a better match regardless. And having said that, do you want to go through the Great American Bash's card for next week?
Sure, got it loaded up right here. 4 title matches, but we have a couple non-title matches. We start with Trick Williams versus Wes Lee. That's an exciting match. Should be a win for Wes Lee. Also, Wendy Chu and Tiffany Stratton. I'm not sure who's going to win that one. That's an intriguing matchup between 2 young superstars in NXT 2.0. NXT men's tag team titles, Creed Brothers versus Roddy Strong and Damon Kemp. The Diamond Mine explodes, Boris. North American title, Carmelo Hayes versus Grayson Waller. Thinking Mello wins and moves on to Wes Lee. Their women's tag team title, Toxic Attraction versus Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. And the NXT Men's Championship, Braun Breaker versus Cameron Grimes, could easily be the best match of Braun Breaker's career. Excited for that one.
Yep. I got to ask, who is walking out of Gab with the NXT title? Breaker with 2 Ks or Cameron Grimes?
Well, they have this injury angle to explain that away. That's very interesting. It might be Braun Breaker. Man, I would love to see Cameron Grimes win the NXT title. I would really love to see it. I don't think it's in the cards. I don't think so. They're going to do that.
I agree. I agree.
Hey, man, you know what I think? A lot of people will be drawing the conclusion that if Cameron Grimes wins that title, Triple H is back, baby. It's true. He's rewriting the shows.
Yeah, that would be hilarious. He's back and he gives it to one of his boys right away.
Oh, I love it. We're back in a New York groove, baby. Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
Oh, man. So that's the show.
If Cameron Grimes wins that title, we have to start and close Great American Bash with that fucking stupid black and yellow song, because the black and yellow brand is back, baby.
It's funny that you say that, because you do remember what the gimmick was for War Games, right? I had 2 songs queued up, depending on who won.
Do I ever? Oh, yeah, I remember. Grayson Waller doing elbows off the cage. How can I forget?
Yep. All right, man. So I think that is it for the show. It is getting late here. It is 12:50 in the morning on Wednesday. We have tons more content this week, including an after party this Saturday. That's this Saturday. Money in the Bank after party. We're going to come at you with a card. We're going to come at you with analysis. And you patrons, if you're listening to this show, you will have a link to be able to participate in the show with your feedback. Now, here's the thing. Because it is July 2nd, you got to renew ASAP. This month, you got to renew. And July is a big month because we have not 1, but 2 WWE pay-per-views to get through, including one of the big 4, SummerSlam. So be sure to renew your patreon.com/SNME Radio as soon as you can. That way you have access to both after parties. And I will be able to announce now that Matt and I are going to be coming at you with an aftercast for ROH on July 23rd. That's Ring of Honor's pay-per-view. Really looking forward to that one. I'm going to be covering it for Slam. So July is a busy, busy month again.
Yes. Death Before Dishonor, I believe it is. July 23rd. That is a Saturday show. We're going to have a podcast for you on that Saturday night. I'm excited. I think the only match we know for sure probably right now is Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia for the pure title. That looks like it's set in stone. That alone is enough for me. I'll watch that show just for that match.
Yep, exactly. And you know they're going to be having debuts. You know they're going to be throwing stuff at us. as they really try to gear up the ROH brand again. So I'm really looking forward to that, dude. We have Great American Bash next week. We have Blood and Guts later today. We have Money in the Bank on the weekend. We have a regular radio show to produce on the weekend as well. Busy week here on SNME Radio. I want to thank everyone, and remember, renew those Patreon accounts so that you don't miss any show. He's Matt. I'm Boris. Thank you.
Yes. Tell your friends. Get them to tell 5 friends. That's like 70 people right there. Yeah.